Hello everyone. So today we're going to look at identifiers in Java. So we're going to start by looking at the definition of an identifier, continue with identifier rules, then look at Java case sensitivity, and finally have some practice examples together. So let's start by the definition of an identifier. So an identifier in Java are words that a programmer uses to name elements in their code, such as variables, methods, and classes. So variables, methods, and classes in Java have a name. We should name them. And the name of, of the variables, methods, and classes is the identifier. So the identifier is nothing else but the name of a variable, method, or class. So now identifiers have certain rules that we need to follow. So identifiers can be made of letters, digit, underscore, dollar sign, and have no length limit. So we can use all these to create our identifiers. So we can name a variable, method, or class with letters, digits, underscores, dollar signs, and of any length that we wish. However, identifiers cannot begin by a digit and cannot be a reserved word. In the next slide, we're going to look at what's a reserved word, but for now, please remember that identifiers should not begin by a digit and should not be a reserved word. It is also important to note that an identifier gives should be given a significant name. So what's the goal of an identifier? It's actually to describe a variable or method or class. So to describe what the method, class, or variable is about. So for instance, if you write a method that adds two numbers, the method you write sums two numbers. So a significant name or significant identifier for that method would be sum or sum of two numbers. That name is significant because it tells us what the method is about. It's about to sum two numbers together. Now, we saw in the previous slide that identifiers cannot be reserved words. Now, what are those reserved words? These are words, certain words that Java took for itself. These are keywords used by Java, and we cannot use these keywords for our naming of variables, classes, or methods. So we cannot use reserved words to create our identifiers. All of these are examples of reserved words in Java. So um, we cannot use public or static or protected or implements or any of these words for our identifiers. Now, it is important to note that Java is also case sensitive. So that means if we have two words that are the same, but with different capitalized letters. So, for instance, if you have two identifiers, you have school, school all in uppercase, and school all in lowercase. These counts as two separate identifiers. They have nothing in common. They they count as two because Java is a case-sensitive programming language. Therefore, school all in lowercase is not the same as school all in uppercase. Java also have naming conventions such as for class names, they should start with an uppercase, constant. So for instance, maximum or minimum, these are constants and should be all uppercase. And for other variables, it should start with a lowercase. So these are just conventions. Conventions. So it's not an error your program won't stop running if you don't follow these conventions. However, if you follow them, it's going to give you a more structured code. So you will write your code in a better structure, and that's better for it's better for yourself, but also for other people that look at your code. Now let's see some practice problems together. So I have here 9 different identifiers, and try to look which of them are correct and which of them are incorrect. And we're going to solve them together in a few seconds. So please pause the video and try to figure out which are correct and which are incorrect. Okay, so here are the solutions. So the first one, max, is correct. Then we have price after tax. This is also correct, nothing wrong with it. Then we have student underscore 20. Underscore is a symbol, is a valid symbol for identifiers, so it's correct. Then we have student hashtag 20. This is incorrect because of the hashtag. So hashtag is not a valid symbol for identifiers. Therefore, this identifier is incorrect. Then we have shipping and handling fee. This is a and symbol, so it's incorrect. It's not part of the symbol we use for identifiers. Then we have class, and this is correct. But if you remember previously, we saw that class is a reserved word. So class is part of the keywords that Java uses for itself. So class here is a reserved word. However, it's important to note that this keyword starts with a lowercase, and we saw that Java is case sensitive. So if the letter is uppercase or lowercase, it matters for Java. So here, because class starts with a lowercase letter, but in our example, class starts with an uppercase letter, it's correct because of the fact that Java is case sensitive. Therefore, this identifier is correct. Then we have underscore 983. This is correct because we use the underscore. Then we have the student with a space between the two words. This is incorrect because space is not a part of our symbol that we use for identifiers. And finally, treehouse is incorrect because it starts with the digit 3. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any question, please let them below, and I'll try to be as quick as possible to answer them. And thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.